Kidding me, Mike Tyson?
What's going on,
How hard
Joe?
does this hit?
Oh, it's hitting hard. Man.
This is 80-something, just...
I used to come out to my fights on this song. Fight the power of the radical of the youngster.
Oh, my God. Mike, you did something that happens in Hollywood, but it happened to you. You were like the king at the age of 20. How hard was... At 20, things are moving so fast.
Hey, well, he never thought about that. It's me and this old Italian fellow, we got together, and he has told me these wonderful things about myself and what I could accomplish if I listened to him. And so I dedicated my life in listening to him.
Now, did he take you to a hypnotist?
Yeah, he was a hypnotist too, but he also took me to one.
He was a hypnotist?
Yeah.
In which way?
Just that way he could allow you to relax and he could reach your subconsciousness.
With the tone of his voice?
Yeah.
And just talk to you nice and light.
Yeah.
Tell you what was going on. You're the champion.
Till I fall asleep, yeah.
Yeah, no. Cuss was a weird breed, bro.
Yeah, he was.
I never met him, but God rest his soul.
A weird breed. But he knew what he wanted in life. He wanted champions.
You know, Mike, I want to write a book. I've been writing a book. But in that book, in between chapters, I want to write about the people who touched my life that you think about every 3 days and go, God, and they're not dead. I'm not even talking about that. They can still be alive. You're just in a different mind game. You didn't talk to them no more.
Yeah.
You're not talking to them no more because
most of mine are dead.
Didn't want none from you and just said something to you that you went back to your room and had to think about. And you look back and they disappear. And you think that maybe could be an angel from God.
Wow, when you say that, a lot of people in my life that affect me in that particular way, they usually passed away and stuff. And I was watching a documentary about Joan Rivers. Yeah, she's the blonde. Joan.
Right, the crazy lady.
Yeah, and she had said somebody had left her. She lost contact with one of her workers, and she said, "God, he was there." And what happened to the people that were there? We said, remember when this happened? They're not there no more.
It's weird. I'm not even. I wanna be around. What's up, cocksucker? I only had that evaluation once.
Because that's I watched your Spike Lee documentary. It blew my mind how similar you two were. But it said you were arrested 38 times by the time you were 13. Do they even do diagnostics anymore after 30 times?
No, they always didn't give you Thorazine and what's that? They give you Thorazine. Lithium. Yeah, they give you.
They
lithium.
put you on the lithium shuffle.
Man, I've been on so many medications as a kid.
Really? They drug you out?
Yeah. Listen, when we were kids, when Mike and I were kids, there was 2 drugs. There was lithium and Thorazine, and then there was a heavy one that gave you, and they used to call it the lithium shuffle. As soon as you go to prison, they give you Thorazine to calm you down.
Especially if you're a dangerous guy.
And you have to take it?
Yeah. And then what you do is you double up on them. Like I would put them under my tongue and save them until I got 3 of them. And at the end of that diagnostic report, they make an assessment. And that assessment goes to the FBI and every other federal bureau. This is their assessment. And I got to tell you, I believe it's an 87% assessment because it was big amongst the prisoners. They would say, "Did you get your report yet?" And you had to file a petition to a lawyer to actually get it. No, nobody gives you nothing. All right, let me ask you this: I watched Tyson. I watched you go do a one-man show on. I think it came on HBO.
Yeah.
I sat there going, "Look at this man, what he's done." But then I go to him, "This is Dick." Because he's beating people up in front of 50,000 people with 1 million people watching you on pay-per-view. What's the difference of what? I mean, you went up there like you had been doing stand-up for 20 years.
It's different. Know why? It was really interesting how I was doing that. But I put it all in the same perspective as fighting.
When you went up on stage,
yeah,
brilliant. Because I've been telling people that ever since I started jiu-jitsu, my stand-up game has gotten way better. I've become a better stand-up. Now I know when to breathe. Now I know when to attack.
Relax,
yeah, now I know how to beat them up for 3 minutes and backing off.
Being on stage is pretty exhilarating, man. It gives you something of a high. Being on stage.
When you got off stage, what did you feel?
When I got off stage, I I felt that I needed to get back on stage.
I'm always thinking about the next move. My mind, I could be looking at you, talking to you. That's why I need that. I smoke that reefer for 2 reasons. It's the only thing I have from my past. It's a teddy bear from my past when I was Jose Antonio, and it was there when I was Coco, and it's there now when I'm Joey Diaz. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Coco must have been a motherfucker.
Coco was.
Coco was son. That name Coco.
Coco was a name given to me by my father before he died because of how white my skin was. So they called me the inside of a coconut. I didn't like it for a long time, but I didn't like Jose Antonio.
Yeah. Listen, I still had a little bit of money when I locked up. I didn't have a lot of money, but I had around $5 million still when I got locked up. So I could still make things happen when I was locked up. I could say, send that money here, send that there, to that guard's house, that guard's house, that guard's house.
You were eating good in there?
Yeah, whatever I want. No one to the child hall. All my food was brought to me from the street. I had the menu. They give me a menu and said, what do you want to eat tonight? And I said, I don't know, some Chinese food, some fucking, I don't know. Chicken.
Were you boxing at all in there?
No, just running around training, doing exercise, weights and stuff.
And that's when you changed religious faith?
Yeah, but I was Muslim before I went to prison, but people really didn't know that.
Okay. What were you raised?
Catholic. Hey, I can't say that because, there's some good Catholics.
There's some good Catholics. No, I listen, I'm Catholic. I'm still Catholic. I just don't go to church and mingle. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason to go to church and mingle with those people if,
So what was that like then? Like being king of prison versus, like you weren't king of, like when you were 15 or 13 in juvie 38 times. Like they didn't do whatever you wanted then.
No, I was a young kid. I didn't have no money and no stuff like that. But I knew everybody in the prison because most of the guys from my neighborhood that were locked up, some guys you used to see from other places like Queens or the Bronx that you meet on 42nd Street. I pretty much knew everybody in my juvenile time being locked up. I knew everybody.
Did you go into a city a lot when you were a young man?
All the time, pickpocket. All the time. Yeah, remember you robbed those perverts and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, on 42nd Street we used to do that too. Say we'd go with them. Come on, I'll go with you. Me and my friends beat the shit out of them. Take their money.
Those perverts never call the cops.
No, they can't.
Never call the cops. Those little pedophiles, when you jump them and lay a beating on them, they can't call the cops. It's clean, Bobby.
Who's Bobby?
Bobby, like...
They think he's white. They want to rob him.
It's amazing where your mentality goes when you're street. My senior year, I wasn't even in high school. I had already quit, but I was still hanging out with those guys. I was working. And we went to the city. We picked up an 8-ball.
That's how life was. We always was plotting.
Yeah, we're always plotting. I'll never forget that. We went and picked up an 8-ball on 135th in Amsterdam. We went to my buddy's father's liquor store. It was closed at 10. We broke into it. He had the key and the alarm codes. We took out a bottle of Jack and a case of Nips, the 8-ounce cold beers, and we started drinking like...
When I was a kid, I drank Bacardi when I was like 10, 11, 12.
Oh.
I was drinking Bacardi 1.
How old were you?
From like 10, 11, 12, 13.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Mike. I started out light with Boone's Farm.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I started out 13.
I started straight with... What's that? Gordon's Gin?
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. Straight or with a little tonic and a twist of lime?
Fucking straight. And what else? Wild Irish Rose. Remember these?
I remember Wild Irish Rose.
And Thunderbird. Remember that?
I remember it. That should have given you a headache for 8 days.
My mother used to drink that.
Thunderbird will give you a headache for 8 fucking days.
That's cheap ass shit to kill you, man.
That shit will fucking kill you. What's the word?
Thunderbird.
You know what I'm saying?
That was really the commercial?
That was the slang on the street.
Oh, okay.
That was on the street, dog. What up, G? What's the word? Thunderbird. I'm in. I got 50 cents. Mike got a nickel. Lee got $1. Let's go. We'll get some potato chips. Go in there, Lee. Tell him put it on your tab. Remember when you could run a tab at the bodega, Doug?
Listen, remember you did this. You come there and you give them a food stamp, right? But they don't give you no change. It's right on the paper. I owe you 70 cents or 30 cents. Yeah, and it's good.
That shit would crack me because I would buy food stamps like 30 cents to the dollar.
Oh, you buy people's food stamps?
Bro, they're junkies. So when they get $60 worth of food stamps, you give them 20.
You always wanted to rob somebody's food stamp check.
Yeah.
You can cash it. Back then, it was easy to cash somebody else's check. Fraud was so easy back in the 70s.
Dog, my biggest scam was...
70s fraud. You didn't even have to have
a credit card.
Nothing. Your information. You just have the check.
Wow. It's a different time.
It was a different world.
It was a trip.
Dog, tell him Chinese restaurants used to go in and they used to imprint the card. So if you spent over 50, they never rang it in. I'd go to the same Chinese food for a month and eat for free the lunch special.
Rice and gravy, what I used to always get when I was in the street hustling and stuff, I couldn't eat until I go there and I buy some rice and gravy just to eat from a Chinese restaurant.
You know what else I made a lot of money on? You know who I took down single-handed?
Tell me about it.
Travelers checks.
Oh, man, that's tricky.
Tricky. You got to go to foreign neighborhoods. For me, you got to go to Japville. They have this little Japanese neighborhood. They don't ask questions. You don't tell them no lies. Let's say you got a $50 fucking American Express traveler's check. You buy something for $32. $32, no ID. Okay. They give you 18 and change. You follow me? So you would just go to Japanville and spend a little bit. They were all in on it because they got the insurance. Nobody gave a fuck. So if I knew you were going on vacation, you said to me, I go, what are you going to do? How much you got? Well, I'm kind of struggling. I only got 1,000. Forget about it. Go to the bank, get me the traveler's checks, bring them to me, call the police, say you got them stolen, file a police report. You go right back to the bank within 1 hour. You get your traveler's checks back, and I'll give you 5 off the top. So I make 500, you make 500.
I think I know the answer to this, but like, how many days a week, Mike, were you thinking about doing all this stuff? Like, was it every day?
With robbing and stuff?
Yeah.
That was my job.
Jesus.
I get up in the morning to go to school. I go to school, eat breakfast, and then when Zoom class starts, boom, I go outside and start robbing. Then lunchtime comes, I come back, boom, eat lunch. If I didn't get a good thing, I'm not eating lunch. I'm gonna go somewhere else and eat in a restaurant like Red Lobster or somewhere.
Damn.
But other than that, I come to school. I come back to school lunchtime eating. Then I go back out again until 5 o'clock, from 9 to 5. Because after that, it's really not going to get any more hits unless you run up and rob someone.
God bless you. Look, you're not lying. Let me ask you a question. When your mentality, because I know this, I have to be honest with people, so I'll tell you. There was days when I would wake up from the ages of 17 to 27, and I would wake up and go, I don't know how the day is going to start, and I don't know how it's going to end. What I do know is that I got to come up with $80 because I need money to eat, I got to do laundry, and I got to get a bag of dope. And somewhere or another, I get 82 or I get 75, and that's when the song from the Stones comes on. You can't always get what you want. But then something happened years later. That mentality went from waking up to how am I going to rob today became I'm waking up, where am I going to get on stage? Did that transference happen for you from robbing to boxing? Did you fall in love so much with boxing that it took you away from that? You had to.
100%.
100%. You went from thinking about, I saw you in an interview one time say that when you stayed with Cuss at night, you would watch fights endlessly, black and white fights endlessly. You studied listen, I have all the utmost respect for all your accomplishments, but my utmost respect for you is that nobody could ever pull one over on you about a fighter. If there's a fighter that existed, good or bad, you know he existed.
I believe so, yeah.
You know the date he fought, who he fought, who was in his fucking corner, how many tickets were sold, and that impresses me to no end with you. When I saw you do that interview, I had just gotten into comedy, and I said, if he was a champion and he studied all those tapes, it's time for me to study tapes of guys that have nothing to do with me, even if I don't like their comedy, just to see everything that was available to me.
Oh, so that's the best thing to study. I always say that if I'm going to get involved in anything, say it's baseball, boxing, or it's record business, I'm gonna find out how this first began. I'm gonna go to the origin of it, where it first began, and I'm gonna know who the players are, and I'm gonna know how to play the game. I'm gonna know how it failed for him, how it failed for him, how it went well for him, and that's how it went.
and you study the fighters and you studied what they did, what they didn't do, what made them successful, what you're going to do different.
100%.
You know what? Kid Chocolate did this type of training. I'm going to do that type of training.
Listen, I wanted to say something to you about that because I was looking at something about Kid Chocolate. And I was talking to you about he got second court disease, but what he did was bigger than that. He turned people into fighters because Joe Louis wouldn't have been a fighter, Henry Armstrong. They wouldn't have been fighters. They didn't hear how much money he made. They had no intention in mind of becoming a fighter. He wanted to play violin. Henry Armstrong was working on the railroad, and he saw in the paper how Kid Chocolate made like I don't know, $85,000 a night one night. They said, "Fuck this! I want to be a fighter." He inspired so many great fighters. I didn't say that.
What did you like the most about his fighting style?
He's beautiful. A pretty fighter.
Muhammad Ali?
He's different style. The Cubans got different. They moved, they showed it, they played, they bounced. Then they hit it different. It's
they hear those bongo players. They hear those bongos
they
playing.
They look pretty. They're good looking ballet players. You know, they're ballet dancers.
It's amazing that I learned a lot from you, Mike. We're very similar, and now we smoke weed with 3 hands. Like, I wish you all the luck in the world. You're a gentleman.
I'm just very grateful.
And you give a lot of love.
And grateful that life has turned out good for me. You know?
Yeah, I'm really happy it has too, man. Like, you got more lives than a motherfucking cat. But you're always welcome here, right, brother?
Thank you.
Have a great day. Stay black.
All day, every
and most
day.
important, stay beautiful. And if you see Jesse Smollett, bitch, slap that.
Nah, I can't do that. That's gonna put me back in the cell.
Nah, he'll take the bitch slap from you. He knows he got it coming and shit.
Oh, I love it.
I love you, Mike Tyson. Thank you very much for coming on the tape.